What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another live stream. Oh, okay, hold on. No, say hi, people. Hi.
Hi.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, buddy.
Welcome to another live stream.
Rossi.
Live stream, that's right. You haven't been here in a while. You see Daddy and Nova? You see? Say hi, everybody. No, you gotta do it. Daddy. No, Daddy's busy. So, what is going on? I'm sorry about my hair. I didn't have time to really get ready. Life has been turned upside down for many people recently. I'm sure many of you know what I'm talking about. I'm not going to try and spend too much time talking about the pandemic or whatever. Hey, relax. The pandemic that is going. Nova, no. Look. People. You going to say hi, people? Hi, people. Here. Hey. Look. Oh. Hey. Look. No, look. You got other music. I'm trying to keep her entertained. Anyway, yeah. So you've all heard coronavirus. It is everywhere. Nobody's immune to it. It is just happening. Many lives are being changed by this. Mine is kind of being affected a little bit, more so Margaret, which is also affecting me. That's why she is here right now. Margaret, she works at a hotel in the city. She, most of the workforce there got laid off. She's lucky enough to still have a job temporarily and probably won't be there next week. I'm assuming that she will be let go by then. As they close the doors through this whole thing, as we're in New York City, New Jersey. Like, we live in New Jersey. We both work in New York City. And it is getting worse every day with the restrictions that they put in place. And I have a feeling both her and myself. I can still work from home most likely, hopefully, but I have a feeling. I have a feeling. Okay. I have a feeling that my job may have a decrease in business soon, and yeah, so things are changing all throughout the world. But I kind of also wanted to give like a little insight into the company, as far as this, YouTube page and all that. I see. Okay, hold on. So right now there's no, right now everything's still operating the way it is. Our website, our employees. As you know, we only have two employees, Jake and Ashley, and so we're a relatively small company. We're still taking precautions. I told them if they... Oh, no sound. No sound. It says we have sound. Oh, no. Oh, no. Hold on. Okay, there is sound. My voice is quiet. Can barely hear you. I don't know. Why is it doing that? It should be. I don't know why it's so quiet. It's low volume? I don't know. Turn up your volume, maybe? Mic is too far away. My mic's right here. I'm going to try and bring it closer. Okay. Shh. Let's see if this works. Okay, hold on. Let's see. Oh, that might be too high. Sorry if that's a little loud. How about now? How does that sound? Hopefully better. Is it better now? All right, good. Okay. So anyway, yeah. So no, that's good. Okay, yes, good. All right, cool. Sorry about that. Every time we have microphone issues, I don't understand it. Anyway, where was I? Oh, so as of right now, the website and everything, we're still operating under normal standards. What could possibly change though is if they start shutting down the post offices in New York or New Jersey. There's or airports, entirely shut down. There may be problems in distribution, and that may affect shipments. So, if anything does change, if you are on our newsletter or follow us on social media, I will immediately post it there. If either shipments are going to be delayed, if it gets to the point where we have to essentially stop taking orders, until this whole thing passes. Um, it it looks like it may get really serious soon, especially in New York. There's a lot of cases popping up every day, and so I don't know what the future brings. We'll still do our best to get shipments out the best we can. But if they, have a shelter-in-place thing that they're all talking about, or not lockdown or something, we may we may suspend shipments. Oh no, okay. We may suspend shipments and all that. So, that's where we're at right now. I will keep everybody updated if anything changes. As of right now, business as usual, unless there's any changes. And, I did tell Jake and Ashley today if they develop any fevers or any symptoms to stay home. So that way, you don't have to worry about, possible contaminations with anything. Although the virus, although I think the virus can only live on certain surfaces for up to a couple hours, unless it's plastic or steel. So we'll see. We're still, every day is something new. So I just wanted to give that bit of an update because I'm sure my life is not the only person's life that is flipped upside down right now. But, we're dealing with stuff. So Margaret's working night shifts now versus during the day when she normally works. So I'm watching her so Margaret can sleep because she really didn't get to sleep today. And we'll see what happens. I got my must today, my first order too. Nice, Kristen. I appreciate the order. God, I love to work from home. My work has a mandatory non-essential work from home order. Non-essential means the GM and merch manager, everyone else has to show up at the office. Oh, nice. Well, that's awesome. Chuck Black, thank you for the $10 super chat. I really appreciate it, especially in the times that we're in. There is no telling what it is going to bring, but the virus and the health symptoms aside, I believe our whole economic system is about to really get destroyed just in general. People in just mass hysteria and fear. And, some of it is for good reason. This is a serious thing, but at the same time, just, I don't know if anybody follows Wall Street, but it is taking a hit. Many companies that are out there going to take financial hits, and we may see some problems in the near future. So I'm hoping that it doesn't. But so let's see. Okay, the sound just low volume. Their sound just low volume. Okay, your mic is too far away. Okay, all right. Everybody says it's better. Thank you, Diana, for the $1.99. I appreciate it. The super chat. You guys, it means a lot. Thank you. Alf Tio, good morning, wherever you are. How's it going, Ava? I just, I want to preface, I hope everybody is staying safe. Listen to your local, government or even federal government, what guidelines they put in place. Let's keep everybody safe, especially those most vulnerable. I'm at, I think, a slightly higher risk. I don't have any really underlying health conditions, but I did have open heart surgery when I was a baby. And even though I pretty much made a full recovery. You okay? Do you need water? Hey. Shh. I do believe I'm at a slightly higher risk for complications. So I'm washing my hands more times in a day than I've ever washed my hands. So yeah. We haven't been going nowhere unless we absolutely have to. Are you having fun there? Yeah, that's kind of the mentality that we've taken. Like, I've been going to the store by myself. Usually we would usually all go food shopping. So I would go by myself to get things. Kids, wife stays home. Oh. Are you having fun? You see yourself? Yeah? Oh, that's nice. You're showing everybody your phone? Is her name May? No, it's Nova. This is Nova. Nova, say hi. Hi. Hi.
Hi.
So yeah. So with all that aside, let's try and have some escapism here, and I'm happy to answer any questions that you guys may have in relation to plants, aquariums, anything like that. Any topics that you guys want to talk about, because I know many people, they use the internet to escape things nowadays. Okay. Are you having fun? Where's your teeth? Where's your teeth? No, your teeth, not my teeth. Your teeth. No, that's your tongue. Where's your nose? Nose? Okay, you're just interested in showing everybody your tongue. Okay. My boyfriend has set up a mini leaf carpet for his 10-gallon tank, but turns out the goldfish we won at the fair thinks it's fun to uproot it. Is there any way to help prevent that? So a couple things that you could do is maybe use like bigger sort of gravel to help like lock it in place so the fish can't really get to it. The other thing that you could try and do is like we have plant anchors. They're like these lead anchors that are twistable and like bendable, and so you can actually like try and weigh some of it down so the goldfish can't pick them up. Other than that, really, it's kind of you're just going to be at the mercy of the goldfish. If you try and keep them well fed, they may pick at it less, but they probably will. You know, they're always hungry. Goldfish, they'll just pick at everything, whatever they can get. So there's a chance that it'll just constantly be uprooting it. Just try and weigh it down, plant it maybe a little bit deeper, so that way there's some weight to the substrate that's sitting on it, and it should be good. Are there different sizes of Hydrocota triparta? I have pennywort and I've been considering triparta. So triparta really is just that one variation, but pennywort and triparta are similar. Pennywort's a really big variation of it, and triparta is a smaller type of plant. They're not the exact same plant. And when I say variation, they're not like the same plant, just different variations. They're just in the same family of plants, so they're very, very similar. We have a stash of food here. That's awesome. We placed a large order with our local grocery store the other day to be delivered because I just was like, I don't want to go to the stores, and we only got about half our order, so it's madness over here. People are freaking out, man. She's a cutie. Thank you, Steven. Appreciate it. What do I do with browning plants, Anubis and swords? It's not all, but a few of them. JR, if you could actually send me like a picture on either Instagram or Facebook or email of what exactly is going on with them, that would better help, because it's a little tough to diagnose just like browning, if the leaves are browning. Chances are, though, if I had to take a guess without seeing them, if they're new, and by new I mean they're within like 3 months of being introduced to your tank, they're probably just shedding old leaves, which is completely normal. As long as you see new growth coming up, that's what you're really looking for. Okay. You're welcome for the info, River. What's up, Christopher? How's it going? Is it necessary to use fertilizer in planted aquariums? So that really depends on how many plants you have and how often you're feeding and what kind of substrate you have. So when you only have, like, let's say you only have like a couple plants in there and it's not wall to wall and doesn't look like a jungle, you only have a couple plants. Odds are what you feed your fish, or if you have good substrate, that's probably enough to keep them stable for 6 to 12 months. Obviously, you would still want to fertilize after a certain amount of time, because eventually all of that nutrients will get used up by the plants, and then you'll be depriving them of nutrients. If you have a full jungle that's wall-to-wall aquarium plants, and it's just your tank's full of plants, you'll definitely want to be dosing, because odds are the plants are just utilizing any little bit of nutrients that they can get that's going into your water. Either you're feeding it or dosing nutrients. So fertilizer is always good. Are you eating the ice pop? Yeah? Is it it's good? Is it yummy?
Yes.
Yes? Okay. What's up, James Green? How's it going?
Yummy.
Sorry, she, what are you doing? Boo? Are you being silly? Margaret's sleeping, so I'm stuck on babysitting duty.
Ice.
Are you making lemonade?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. Is there a planted substrate I can use with Neo Shrimp? Yeah, so many of the aquarium substrates out there will work just fine. However, anything other than, what is it called? Fluval stratum may have a ammonia spike when you first add it in. So if you don't have the shrimp and you're just setting up the tank and you're gonna leave it set up for a couple months or a month or two before you put the shrimp in, then that's just fine. If you have shrimp in a tank and you want to add substrate, I would say just go with fluval stratum, as it should have no ammonia spikes for the shrimp to deal with. But if you have some time, any substrate will do. Just give it at least like a couple weeks for all the ammonia to cycle out. Hello. What's going on, Green Chicken Fries? That's a funny name. Green Chicken Fries. Hello. How do I treat an algae bloom? I'm cycling my first planted tanks. Thanks. So, as far as an algae bloom, are you talking about just green water algae? You know, like, so your water is just a tinted green, or maybe it's just a lot of green, and maybe you can't see through it. It looks cloudy. Is that what you're talking about? You're welcome, Sufyan. Is that how you say that? Sufyan? I think that's how you say it. What's up, James? Great to see all are well. What's going on, Eva? How's it going? Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. No. All right. I unlocked this little like toddler game that they have on the phone where you can make she makes food and like it gives you all the ingredients and it reads out what you're putting in there. She's been really interested in the kitchen lately, so we'll see. Maybe I got a little chef on my hands. I had to build her the other weekend. I built her this it's like a raised stool. So I looked on Amazon and they were like going for like $90 a pop for like this raised stool that has like bars all the way around it so the kid can't fall off of it. And I'm like, $90, that's a bit ridiculous for something like that. I was like expecting maybe it'd be like $30, but 90, I was like, hell no. So I went and I got some scrap wood from my shed and I wound up building this cool little elevated platform that she can climb up on, and it has railings around the three sides. The back is open. I think I'm gonna put like a belt. Actually, I was thinking about taking an old belt and so I could fasten it behind her. Just because the way I did it originally, I had a piece of wood in the back and it made it difficult for her to climb up in. But she's been loving to be at the counter with us when we're cooking and stuff. So I think it's cool. So anyway, thanks. It's brown algae and growing on a piece of driftwood. So if it's brown algae and it's growing on driftwood, I would say just leave it alone. It'll probably pass in time. It's just diatoms. The other thing that you could do is your light could possibly be on for too long. So if you don't have it on a timer or you're leaving it on all day, try to only leave it on for 6 to 8 hours. And if you don't have a timer, I would strongly advise it to get one. They're only like $10 to get like a simple digital, not even a digital. You could get an analog timer that you just set it. You get a digital one too. They're like $10, and it's basically like you plug your power outlet from the light into it, and then plug that into the wall, and then you just set your parameters and just leave it on for 6 to 8 hours, and that'll normally take care of the algae, that kind of algae anyway. DIY, it's much more special than an Amazon delivery. Good job. Yeah, that it is, and it saves some money because I was like, you know what, I could build something like this. It won't take me too long. So I think I spent like an hour and a half. I sanded it down. I want to paint it. I think it'd be cool to paint it. But she really likes it. And what's cool is when we're down in the basement now, because she's getting really interested, you know, we take her down there when we're packing orders and stuff on the weekends and whatnot. And so she could actually use the bench to get up to the table height and see us packing orders. And she likes to try and help. And if you ever do order from us and get, you know, like a little gift that wasn't supposed to be in there, it's most likely her. She tries to stick her pacifiers in there, and recently I let her go through these colored zip ties that we have downstairs, and so she started trying to put them in boxes. And I'm like, no, stop doing that. But I'm sure at some point something will get by. So if you ever see a object that does not probably belong in your order, it was her. What? Are you sewing? Oh. Good job. Now you gotta iron. You see iron? Good job.
Yes.
I let my tank cycle with hardscape and Anubis and one pea puffer. Once I added Java ferns along the wood, I got a fungus along the wood. I'm not sure what I should do. I cleaned it out. It came back. What should I do? So Victoria, did you? So what happened? What happened? Here. Oh no. When you
No.
once I added Java ferns along the wood. So was the wood already in there, or did you add Java ferns? Did you add Java ferns to wood that was already in there, or did you introduce the wood? Hey, no biting. No, no, no. Because here's the thing: if it's a white fungus, right? What are you doing? Here, you want to color?
Hey.
Color. No? You want to watch Elsa? Yeah, Elsa?
No.
No? Okay. She's so bossy. So if it's the white fungus, it's almost like a coating on it, and it is very transparent. If it's the fungus that I'm thinking of, it's white. It's almost like a milky color, and it's not so much stuck on there. Like if you run your finger on, it, it'll normally come off the wood. That's normal for any new piece of wood. It is typically because there's a lot of organics on the wood, and once it gets in water, a biofilm will start developing, and that'll cause that fungus to grow. But the fungus will usually die out and like kind of get rid of itself within a couple weeks. What? Here. I would say within 2 to 3 weeks you would probably find that it'll disappear on its own. If it's the white, like milky kind that I'm thinking of. Question: does one need to treat after a bad case of blackbeard algae?
No. No.
What? Here. Well, you're in the thing. Daddy didn't pay for this one. Daddy paid for the other one. Where's the other one? Is this it? High five.
High five.
High five. High five. So, okay, does one need to treat after a bad case of blackbeard algae? So, James, I actually did a video not, like 2 weeks ago. Hey, shh. Stop yelling. It's okay. You see yourself, I can see that. Okay, alright, relax. Hey, it's okay. Here, what happened? Oh, look, you made a mess. Mess. Clean the mess. Mess. Clean the mess. You see? So, as far as treating for blackbeard algae, when you got back, the tank was totally filled with algae. So, I did a video on algae fix, a couple days, like 2 weeks ago. And a mess, yes. And algae fix will actually help to kill most of the algae, but it may still come back depending on, what his maintenance schedule is. So I would look into algae fix to try and kill the existing stuff, but manual removal is going to be the best thing. Try and get rid of as much as possible. He could also use, if he has hydrogen peroxide on hand, H2O2, you could take a little, like a pipette or a turkey baster. Hey, relax. Hey, no. And you can use that. Hey, stop it. I added Java fern to the wood that was in there. It's red driftwood. Can't remember the name. Okay, I will watch it for the next couple weeks. Yes, so that's pretty much all you gotta do. It should be fine. Hey, relax. When I use fertilizer, oh my god. All right there, Diva. Hey, no. Okay, Walter, go. So you're probably using too much fertilizer if you're developing algae issues. Hey, shh. Yeah, you're probably okay. Yours. She's in this whole mine stage now. Everything's mine. No mine. No mine. No mine. No, mine. Mine.
Yay.
um,
Nah.
no, don't bite it. No. What did I say? No, no, no. Yeah, you're probably just adding maybe too much fertilizer. Tone it back maybe a little bit. Go to about half a dose versus full doses, and you'll probably be all right. Hi, is there a perfect temperature for plants? New to having live plants, a month and a half so far. I have Vals, Swords, and Rubus plants so far. So Davis, there's not really like a perfect temperature. Each plant comes from a different region in the world. What? Come here. So each plant is gonna naturally be better in different temperatures. So if you have plants that come from similar regions of the world, then they'd be better suited for one specific type of temperature, and that will just depend on each plant. But I will say is the best temperatures for plants is anywhere between 68 and 78 degrees is really the range where you want to fall into. Plants can grow into 82, 84. I'm gonna tickle you. You keep it up. 82, 84 if needed. So if you have like discus, it can work in those really high temps. But what I would advise is definitely, if you're not keeping it, can you stop? I can't with her. I may have to cut this live stream short in a few minutes if this continues. Okay, you sit here. Oh no. Now I can't even remember what I was talking about. So yeah, so try and keep it between 68 and 78 if possible. If you are one extreme or the other, research the plants that you're keeping. Say if you're doing say if you're trying to keep cold water fish, say it's at 60 degrees, research the type of plants that you have and see. But typically plants will grow faster in warmer conditions. So if you have it at like 76, that's probably like you're going to get the best results because plants will normally grow faster when it's warmer out. What's going on, Chevy Fish? How's it going? My son's reaction on seeing Just Tank was the same as your daughter's to the question. Yeah, pretty much. What are you doing? Hey. You're being too loud. Okay. Roxana says, no biting. No biting. How likely am I to bring in ick or some other thing that will make my fish sick with plants? Do I need to quarantine them? Recommendations. So, Roxana, for the most part, plants can't really carry any diseases on them. For the most part, there's always an exception. But I would always take precautions. So if you have really, fish that you really care about, I would always recommend, quarantining, possibly doing some sort of sterilization dip. On the website, I actually linked to a video done by Gamer Girl, who is actually part of the YouTube community who does videos. And I know it says Gamer Girl, but she's a fish YouTuber. Or what is it, Gamer Girl's wife or something like that? I forget the exact name, but she makes great videos, and she did a really good video on how to do a sterilization dip for plants, and that'll pretty much kill a majority of things. How long to quarantine? I would say quarantine for about a week or two should be plenty fine, and to rule out any illnesses, because no, because most fish illnesses won't Gamer's wife, that's what it is. Most fish illnesses won't be able to live without a host. So if it, let's just say there is some sort of ick particle that is on a plant for some reason. Hey, no. Stop it. Stop terrorizing the dogs. Be nice. No. She's trying to get into all sorts of trouble right now. Yeah, that's right. No. So if there was, let's just say, a particle of ick that was on a fish, or on a plant, and you quarantine that for a week, that particle won't be able to live without the host. So, you should be fine. Even just a couple of days would be enough. But if you really want to play it safe, I know people really care about their fish. So if you're really worried, no, stop that. No. So if you're really worried, a week would be plenty of time. Stop it. Oh, she changed the name. Okay, she's named Girl Talks Fish. Okay, so she changed her actual channel name to Girl Talks Fish. Yeah, we also have that video linked on our website because I just thought it was really good, and I can make my own video. I think I've already done a video on it, but hers was way better. So, what? Let's see. Yes, what Nisi said. Okay. Thank you for the $10 super chat, Diana. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Can we bleach dip for submersed grown boost? Yeah, you should be. Nova, be careful. You should be able to bleach dip most plants. The only plants that I would not dip are mosses, because mosses typically will react poorly, depending on how you do the solution. If you overdo it, it may not go well. So just keep that in mind. Okay. Which light colors makes plants grow bushy than tall? It wouldn't really be colors. It's more about the intensity of light. So no. So the more intense a light is, the shorter and bushier it will grow. The less intense a light is, the taller and more stretched out it will grow. The reason being is most plants, when there's not enough light, they're going to try and grow as tall and as narrow as possible to get closest to the light. And then once they have an abundance of light, then they can really grow and fan out. Think of each one of their leaves as solar panels. And if they're not getting any light down low, there's no reason for them to create more solar panels. But if they get closer to where the light is, they're going to create more and more solar panels. You having fun? Never again will this happen. Next time I'm going to wake your mommy up and tell her she has to watch you. Because you are a terror. Bro, what's your preferred ratio on NPK? Really, it's just a matter of your tank size, the type of plants are growing, what signs your plants are telling you. Like, are they deficient in anything? Really, that's what you got to look at. Everybody's tank's going to be different. Your lighting, what light you have. If you have CO2, that's all going to depend on what you should be dosing. But if you don't know what to dose, if you haven't heard of the website Rotala Butterfly, I would definitely recommend you check out that website because it will give you dosing instructions that are just ideal for your tank. You just set in what you have and it'll tell you exactly what you should be dosing. Got a dwarf aquarium lily bulb from PetSmart that says for a 5-gallon, and I put it in a 15-gallon, and it's growing like crazy. The lilies are getting absolutely huge, and I'm afraid they might neglect light. Any thoughts? So, what you could do, Josh? Peekaboo. What you can do is if you have really long and big leaves or lily pads that are coming up from that lily, you could actually trim a lot of them off. As long as it's putting up new leaves and you can see that it's established, you can trim the leaves as much as you want. The more you trim them, the shorter and more compact the plant will overall become. Because the more you trim the taller leaves, the more it's going to say, hey, this isn't working out for me. Let me conserve my energy and keep my leaves short. And that's what will normally happen. All kids are home in the States now, pretty much. So I'm sure everyone's living room has a munchkin or two in them. Pretty much, yeah. I would have to agree with that. I keep seeing a bunch of memes on Facebook. Okay, relax. A bunch of memes on Facebook, and they what do they say? It's like I've been home for 2 days with my kids. Teachers need a raise, like something like that. It's crazy. I have a UNS 90 liter with plenty of rock, plants, and substrate. Would I have to break the tank down to move it? So it really depends. So if it is the rimless tank, which UNS is, so it's rimless. Depending on the type of base it has. So if you can move the tank with the base, and so you're not lifting up the actual glass, but you're lifting up whatever it's resting on, you could probably just drain all the water and move as is. Now, if you have to lift it up from the actual glass, say you want to move it from one stand to the other, or like a dresser to a stand or whatever, then you're going to want to drain as much water as possible and take out all the heavy stuff. And you're going to want to make sure you have friends lifting it with you, because what's going to happen is that glass, because it doesn't have a frame, is not really supported by anything. So it's just going to be your hands. And depending on how much weight is in there, you're going to wind up putting pressure on the glass, and that could cause it to shatter. So keep that in mind. If you can move it with the base or the stand, whatever it has, do so. If not, drain it as much as possible. Remove all the heavy rock. If you don't have too much substrate in there, you could probably leave the substrate and just move it as is. But just keep it in mind, it is very risky to move a frameless tank like that. Store-bought tissue culture or Java moss. Hold on. Kitty says store-bought tissue culture Java moss I recently bought looks like the store-bought terrarium moss in my tank, and it's drastic contrast next to the Java moss already in the tank. Could I have been duped? It's possible. Well, no, tissue culture. If it's tissue culture, it should probably be all right. It might have been the no. That doesn't go up here. It's possible that the terrarium moss is different than what they said it was. Thank you so much. Where should I trim my lilies? I would trim. So if you have the stalk, you have the bulb here. You have the stalk that comes up, and then you have the leaf. You want to cut the stalk at the base, as close as you can to the base. Because if you just cut it at the top, you're just going to have the stalk, and it's never going to grow a leaf from it. So you might as well just cut it at the base. Since homeschooling started, two kids got detention for fighting, and a teacher was fired for drinking in the job. Is my personal favorite. S-A-H me. That's funny. That is funny. My nose is so itchy. Why is it every time I live stream it's itchy? No, Nova. Nova, you're going to fall. No. 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 Hey. No. You're going to fall. No. Gimme. No, not yours. It's going to fall. No. Hey, no. Don't give me that look. Oh, now she's mad. On the lily, I read somewhere that if you trim the leaves before they break the water, that the new leaves will have shorter stems and not so many stems. Hey! Shh. Will shoot to the top of the water. Is that true? Yeah, so once the plant learns that, hey, this is where the surface of the water is, because if you ever grow a lily from, like, very early, no, If you ever grow a lily from, no throwing. Nova. No. No, put it back. Yeah, bow, that's right. No. She knows what pow means. She hasn't gotten pow, but I tell her, you want pow, and she knows what it means. So when you grow a lily from just a bulb state, let's say, Walter, go lay down. When you grow a lily from a bulb state, what'll happen is it'll have like one little leaf, right? And then the next leaf will be slightly taller, and then the next leaf after that will be slightly taller than that one, till eventually it reaches the surface of the water. And then once it reaches the surface of the water, it'll say, oh hey, that's where I want to be, because it has access to all the oxygen and CO2 that it could ever need, and light, because it's not being refracted by the water. So it's going to say, okay, I'm going to shoot all my leaves up there. So once it reaches the top, then it's just going to try and shoot all of its leaves up there. So what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to start trimming it back aggressively to keep it shorter. And once it gets the hint, like, oh, hey, I don't know where the surface of the water... Hey! Nova, stop it! once you do that, then it'll stay shorter. Nova, leave the dog alone. I swear. Let's see. I bought pearlweed that was immersed grown, but it's not doing well in my aquarium. Does dwarf hairgrass need CO2? Well, pearlweed should be relatively easy to convert. As long as you have one stem, that stuff will just rebound like crazy. So just give it some time. If anything, float it. That plant is literally a weed. Like, it will pop up in any aquarium if given enough time. Does dwarf hairgrass need CO2? In my opinion, if you want it to grow quickly and you have a big tank, I would say yes. If you have a small little tank and you buy enough of it, you probably don't need CO2 because it'll just fill in on its own, having enough of it in the at the start of the tank. Someone said in a chat that duckweed dies off in a tank with jungle val in it. I have not found this to be true. What is your take on that? I would say that's absolutely false because I have a tank with a ton of jungle val in it and a ton of duckweed. So completely false. I don't know who is saying that, but they don't know what they're talking about. I have dwarf hairgrass in a nano plant only tank, no CO2, and it's doing great, Nico. Yeah, you see, smaller tanks it's good in, but if you have a 75 gallon and you're thinking about getting one pot of dwarf hairgrass and thinking that that's going to fill in the tank, you're going to be waiting probably like 3 or 4 years before that happens. So the moss was sold in the aqua department as moss for shrimp tanks. Box stores are jumping on the Neo train. Oh, well. So I think it's supposed to be aquarium Java moss that the leaves just look bigger and thicker. It's possible that it's just at a different state. Sometimes when you get a tissue culture, because this is going back to the tissue culture. Sometimes when you get a tissue culture plant, it will not be fully adjusted to underwater growth, or when you get the plant from the terrarium department or wherever it was, it's possible that was grown immersed and it's not its true underwater form, so the leaves may be different. I would say leave both in there, and if you see two different mosses at the end of maybe a month or two, or two completely different looking things, then you probably have two different types of mosses. Why can't I grow hornwort? It dies every time I get it in. That is a good question. What exactly is it doing? Hornwort is a little bit tricky. It will sometimes shed most of its needles. But if you hornwort, yeah, that's Kambama that I was just thinking of. So hornwort is the really green one with they're almost pine needles. They're actually somewhat itchy if you ever rub them up against your forearm or something. They are actually extremely itchy to me. Anyway, maybe I'm just allergic. I don't know. So they typically don't like being planted really at all. They grow very little roots. And anytime I've ever seen them planted, they will just rot out from the bottom. So they just like to be floating, typically. So I don't know if you're planting it, but that could be why. But yeah, if there's more than 10 people in the chat, some will have to leave. Dave, that's funny. That is funny. Social distancing, people. Social distancing. I should have put that. That would have actually been funny. Only 10 people allowed. Everybody else stay out. That would have been great. Say sorry. Sorry, Walter. Okay. Oh, what do you got?
I got the lesson. No, why?
No, mine. I am planning to grow only bucephalandrid. Wait, what type are you keeping your hornwort in? Well, I don't know if that's directed at me, but temperature could also play in it. It is a colder water plant. What? What? You gotta find the drink. Find the drink. Oh, wait. This one's locked. Hold on.
Apple juice.
Here.
Apple juice.
Go to this one. Oh. I am planning to grow only bucephalandrid in 3-gallon tank. No fish, no invertebrates. What's your take? Yeah, that should work fine. Boost is great. It doesn't need a whole lot of light, and it's pretty easy to grow. Sorry, the baby is like right here kicking the stand for the thing, so you guys are getting slowly rotated. Kitty says, will you still be able to ship? As of right now, yes. The moment that changes, though, there will be, I will post it on every social media and or our newsletter and the website if there's to be any expected delays or any, any changes. However, if you do place an order and all of a sudden tomorrow they say, guess what, post office is shut down for the next 2 weeks, mandatory quarantine, there's not much I could do about that. Hey, stop. I don't think they'll shut down transit or shipping, I guess. I don't think it would be shut down like that. A lot of people didn't think a lot of things would happen, but yet here we are. Never say never, but I think if they were to shut down, FedEx, UPS, and USPS, that would just be absolutely a worst case scenario. So we'll see. I think the shipping will still be working. So as long as the post office is open, we're shipping out unless we are placed under mandatory house arrest and can't leave our houses. Then I can't get to the post office to ship out. Unless maybe I could schedule them to come pick up, in which case I would have to work out the logistics of that. But in extreme circumstances, that's what may happen. But I will definitely keep everybody posted what happens. Are all swords easy? Which swords get the biggest? Which are the smallest? For your question, Dave, most swords are relatively easy, I would say. I don't think any ones are more particularly hard than others. Some, if you want to bring out the colors, like there's a lot of red ones actually, and if you want to bring out the colors, you would definitely need somewhat of a good light. Like it doesn't need to be highlight, but low light. Typically, we'll just keep them we'll keep them like a like a tingy brownish red color. If you have a really good light, it'll definitely bring out the colors in them. What are the biggest? So Amazon swords can get really big. Like those things can get 30 inches tall eventually. It just will depend on your tank conditions, the light, all that. I've seen swords. I forget the name of the sword. I can't remember it, but I've seen a sword that literally is the size of this. The leaf, not even the stem of the leaf, but the leaf itself is this big. It's crazy the size that they could get. As far as what's the smallest one, rosette swords are the smallest green ones that I've ever seen. We haven't gotten any in recently, but if you ever want any, we could special order them. And then also the Rennie sword that I did a video on 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago. That sword is really tiny and it's red and it's pretty cool. So I would look into those. No, I am planting. Moss grows for me, Anacris. No, I'm not planting. Okay. Moss grows for me in Anacris and water sprite on all the plants grow except for hornwort. That's a little strange. I mean, it could be just, not every plant is going to grow in everybody's tank. It's possible that there's something in your water that it maybe doesn't like. If you're dosing, are you dosing any sort of like Flourish Excel or Algae Fix? Because that could also affect hornwort, I would think. Nico says, thanks for doing this, bro. Really appreciate it. You're very, very welcome. Kitty says, mandatory quarantine means more content. Yeah, actually, if we were to go under a mandatory quarantine, and, I wouldn't be allowed out of the house to subsidize the income, because I still work full-time. Like, I do the business, but I also work 40 hours a week at my regular job for a contractor, which I don't think we would be shut down. But in the event that we do, I will probably be putting out more YouTube content on this channel, possibly live streaming more here, but I'd probably also be doing a gaming channel as well on Twitch or something to try and boost income during the downtime. Because right now New York, New Jersey, the whole East Coast is the middle of the country is a lot less affected right now just because of population density. What? Stop. Just because of population density, but the East Coast is getting hit hard. The West Coast is getting hit hard. with this. So, who knows what's going to happen. Hey, go. No. Go that way. You go that way. Oh, God. Just such a pain in the butt. But I love you. But you're such a pain. Yeah, I know. You're smiling. You know you're a pain in the butt. Do you think rhizome plants, anubis and ferns attached to driftwood are safe against an American cichlid community tank? It depends on how big they are. If you have really big fish and you're getting plants with really tiny leaves, there's a chance that they may be able to eat them. So, like, if you have big fish like a geophagus are pretty big, and arcarias are pretty big, and parrots are pretty big. Jack Daniels aren't, or Jack Dempsey's, right? JD's, Jack Dempsey's. They aren't that big, but they're still pretty big. So, like, I wouldn't do an Anubis nana petite that has really tiny leaves that'll easily be able to be eaten by the parrotfish. I would do bigger leaved Anubis like Hustifolia, Nanas, Barterized, things with bigger leaves. Java ferns, I would make sure I get bigger leaved Java ferns, and that should be good. UG versus Liliopsis, I can't even say the last name, Brillinesis, something like that, versus dwarf hairgraphs for 30 centimeter cube. What do you suggest? Can you please explain difficulty? So, UG, for anybody that doesn't know, that's Ultracaria gramifolia or whatever. What happened? You got boo-boo? Okay, all better. All better. You got boo-boo there? Yeah, boo-boo. All better. So as far as the difference between those three, I would say the hardest would be UG, then the dwarf hairgraphs, then the Liliopsis. So the Liliopsis would probably be the easiest. No, leave it alone. It's okay. Leave it. I know. I see it. It's okay. So yeah. So what was I saying? The Liliopsis would probably be the easiest to grow out of them. And it just depends on what you're trying to do. If you have CO2, I would say you can grow any of them. If you have good light, you could grow any of them. If you don't have good light and no CO2, I would say Liliopsis probably. As a backup shipping method, you may need to start teaching pigeons to deliver. This is possible. That might have to be something. Or either that or I'll have to sign up for Uber Eats and be like, yeah, can you guys just take this, 2 states away? We'll do local pickups. Let's see. David Rice, 225-gallon tank. If you were doing an all-sword planted tank, which ones would you use? Foreground, midground, background. All right, so let's see here. I would do the Uruguayensis swords for the background. They get massive. They have long, nice leaves. They're really good looking. Bright green. I would do those as background. They may not reach the surface of the water though, so they 225-gallon tank is pretty big. I mean, they're probably going to get 16 to 20 inches over time. But those are a good one, I would think, for background. Mid-ground, I would probably do either a red Reuben. The Rennie sword that we just got in would be a nice mid-ground. That actually might be a foreground. That's a little too small. But red Reuben swords would be good. Those are red. You could do red ocelot swords, which will look really cool. Oriental swords get pretty big, long. They have a long stem, and then they'll leaf at the end of it. And they get a nice, they start out as this really faint, almost see-through-y pink color, and then eventually get green. Those are pretty good. And then as a foreground plant, I would probably do rosette swords just because I like them the most. Either that or the Rennie swords because those are super tiny as well. So I would do both of those. I'm new to Bucephalandrid. Will a leafless rhizome continue to grow, or is it trash? I ordered several bunches, and 3 or 4 small pieces are bare. Yeah, so as long as they're not mushy, they would most likely come back, and you'll have some leaves. Typically, Bucephalandrid in the wild, where they're originally from, would go through a dry season, at which point they would lose all of their leaves once it got submerged, and then they would regrow, as long as the rhizomes don't turn to mush. So you'll probably be right. No pigeons, bird flu. You're right, bird flu is a thing. We'll have to be careful for the bird flu. Oh, God, what is she doing? Nova, what are you doing? Oh, wow. You got the cards? You're welcome, Mark. What do you got? What is that? Octopus. That's right. What's that? What sound does lie make? Wow. What's this one? Igloo. That's right. So smart. What's that one? You already did that one. What's that one? That's right. What's this one? Queen? Good job. That one you didn't know. What's this one?
No, I don't.
Oh, it's this way? Which one is it? What is it? What letter? N. Nest? With eggs? Hi. What is it? Strawberry. That's right. No, you can't eat the paper. She pretends to eat the things. Strawberries. Apple. Oh, careful. What is this? No, what is this? Okay. Too cute, thanks. Only ever thought of fish being quarantined. This is true. Oh, what? I don't have B. Hey, what's this?
No, wait.
Pig, that's right. What sound does a pig make? Oh, Jesus. Okay, I'm sorry for everybody listening. Is it possible to grow a sword without it being planted? So you can kind of float them, but it's gonna need substrate. It just won't grow big and look nice if it doesn't have substrate. It really does need to anchor down. What is your daughter's favorite plant and fish? I don't think she has one yet. Oh, well, I mean, even though they're not technically a fish, but if she had to pick anything, it would definitely be sharks, because she loves baby shark. And she is totally gonna be a trap queen when she's older, because she loves the dubstep remix of Baby Shark. So I'm like, oh my god, you're gonna be in the clubs dancing to Baby Shark, aren't you? So, yeah, anyway. Anyone else going bare bottom style for their COVID-19 quarantine? That's funny, Mark. That is funny. Hey, now stop. Why does valcinarium melt if you add liquid carbon to the tank? Because liquid carbon is it's pretty much an algicide. Even though it says liquid carbon, it's more of an algicide than anything else. And what happens is the algicide, it's much like a like herbicide, like a roundup type thing. When you spray it outside on your lawn, it's gonna kill pretty much everything. It doesn't matter what it's. Honey, what are you doing? What is that? Hold on 1 second. What is that? Okay, sorry. Dog was eating something that she shouldn't have been. So it's like Roundup. When you spray Roundup on something, it's just going to kill pretty much everything. It wasn't designed specifically to target one thing. It's just kill everything. So that's pretty much what the Flourish Excels and Algae Fixes do. They don't kill all plants, but they don't discriminate between fast-growing plants. So that's why Vals and Nacris, they're weeds essentially, and that's what Algifix is. It's a weed killer because it kills things that grow too quickly. And because those plants grow fast, that's what it does, and that's why they're most susceptible to it. Justin, I tagged you in a post on IG about mealybugs. If you get quarantined and need content, please make a video on this. Inquiring minds need to know. Alright, I definitely will. I'll take a look at that after this. I've heard cryptocorn can be planted on rocks and wood like Anubis. Is this true? I've never tried it, but they are rhizomatous, meaning they have somewhat of a rhizome to them. So I can see it being possible. Hey, Walter! But I've never seen it actually being done. So if you try it, let me know. It might work. Alright, guys, I will answer one more question and then I gotta go. Because this one is acting crazy now. She's making a mess. The dogs are getting anxious, and I have to make us all dinner. So what is liquid carbon good for? Liquid carbon is good for essentially killing algae. It's not really an algicide, like I said. It is a... oh, this broke. Wow. It's not really a carbon substitute. There is no substitute for carbon. And according to my friend Kevin Kelly... Hey! Dogs! Hey! Honey! According to Kevin Kelly, who is much more knowledgeable about this than I am, what actually it does is the liquid carbon will actually slow the cell growth down, so it actually looks like it's growing like better. Okay, alright, go get it. I lost my train of thought. So what'll happen is it stunts the cell growth. That's what he said. So things grow faster. I don't quite understand all the logistics behind the way it goes, but that's kind of how he explained it to me. Hey, shh. All right. Wyoming nuts, or why not and gnoming? Just a quick wave at you. Well, thanks for hanging out. But with that said, I'm gonna head out and take care of these 3 animals that I have to deal with. Go wake Margaret up because she's gonna have to leave for work soon. Hey, no hodes. Hey, no. So she knows the word hodes, which in Margaret's native tongue of Honduras means annoying. And because me and Margaret use it so much, she's picked up that word. So she's speaking Spanish and saying a bad word, kind of, because it means you're annoying. So, hodes. Pick up your mess. Pick up the mess. Alright, guys. I'm gonna head out. Be safe. Enjoy yourself. Keep your tanks clean. And, yeah. I will see you guys in 2 weeks. Maybe sooner, depending on what happens. I mean, hey, we live in a very weird world right now. So, I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for checking out the live stream.